Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome to day 13. And so just to recap what we've been working on, what we've been looking at for the last couple of days, basically just seeing how the brain does what it does, and then how we need to help it now with new tools be able to help itself feel safe. That's what we need to do. So yesterday we started talking a little bit about, kind of started breaking down some of those feelings, right? And kind of showing you in context what that looks like. And so I figure, today we could dive into breaking down one of the most difficult ones, which is anger. And anger has a lot of precepts from so many different places. And so ultimately, what is anger, right? So if I take my book and I go back to the definitions, we have the breakdown of anger, right? So we have anger, and then we have hurt, which is in anger, and then hurt is made up of devastated and embarrassed, right? Threatened is made up of insecure and jealous. Can you guys see that? Hateful is made up of violated and resentful. Mad is made up of enraged and furious. So you can see that there's, just because you're angry, no. Because you can be angry and not be hurt, and that's a signal, right? And what we spoke about yesterday is, again, just to do a little quick thing again, reptilian brain, right? However, basically that's kind of what it looks like, reptilian brain. Comes around, has a little thing there. Okay, great. Mammalian brain, we know that it goes around it, has a few little curves here, that looks more like an amoeba, so that's not really what it looks like. And then we know that the neocortex, the outside brain, and then also with the back part, so prefrontal cortex and the backside, right? This is a very poor illustration of what it is, but we're just trying to show you. So your body. So we're gonna draw. We're basically going to encapsulate your brain, and this is your body, right? So your body. So your body experiences all of this, right? So because you can see, you have eyes. You can see, right? This is your nose, and then this is you, right? On the inside, and so because you can experience all of the sensations, your brain has to interpret that. So all this stuff comes in, your body feels it, comes to the central nervous system, your reptilian brain starts interpreting it, and it sends signals. What does this mean, guys? What does that mean? Neocortex, can you help me with that? Mammalian brain, can you define this feeling? Because I'm kind of confused with that. And there's, this happens a million times a day, right? It literally happens constantly. Anytime new information is coming in. And so as this information is coming in, our neocortex brain, remember guys, the neocortex, which is the red brain, neocortex, is the brain that is the latest brain that we've evolved. All the buildings that you see, all of the plans that we've ever created, the fact that we have internet, the fact that you and I can talk through this device, the fact that I can explain these ideas and somewhere in your head they make sense and in some other places it doesn't. That's all your neocortex. That's all neocortex, right? So what we know about the neocortex is that it can create ideas, it can compare ideas, it can abstract ideas, it can learn, and it just needs to be given the proper understanding, and it'll carry out the job. It'll always carry out the job if it actually makes you feel safe, which is the reptilian brain. So that's why this is so important. That's why for the last basically 10 classes, I always go back to the brain. Because literally, that's where everything starts. If we want to fix our heart, we have to fix our brain. And in order to fix our brain, we now have to help it. And, we can't help it in itself. We need, where's the book? Well, I don't know where. Oh, it's right here. We need tools, right? So back in the 40s, if we were building a building, then we would take a hammer and we would hammer it. So the hammer became the power that allowed us to create a tool or create a building, right? And now that things are so much quicker and faster, things are digital, so now we're having to have tools to fix problems on the internet, or tools to fix problems that are a little bit not so obvious anymore. They're really more internal. And so now that's what we're doing, right? Because the brain can conceive, if it can conceive it, it can achieve it. If it can name it, it can tame it. It can say, hold on a second. Oh, that's what it is? I can do that, and I have someone to show me? Great, I'm here. Show me how to do this, because I'm all about it. And so that's now what we now need to do, which is why we're having this conversation, so that by you understanding that, you say, oh, okay, neocortex, but then now your neocortex is saying, well, how can I do that? Because I don't really have the workbooks yet, which I'm working on. We're getting hundreds of requests, so we're definitely going to be getting them out to you guys soon. We're having to make sure everything is in place, because clearly there's just so many people right now going through this. We're not alone. We're not going to leave you alone. We're going to stick by your side every single day. We're going to do this together. But because, I thought maybe it would be maybe 10 people a day or 20 people a day, and I could manage that. Literally now we're having to manage hundreds of people a day. And, we ourselves, we're building up to that. So today, some of the first workbooks, if you've been following us for like the last 4 or 5 days and you've been signing up, we're going to be getting those out to you guys, all right? So we're going to cut that time period from 72 hours to 48 hours and eventually to about 24 hours. So the moment you register, boom, 24 hours you get the workbook, 24 hours we start working at it, you start looking at it. Then if you want to ask me questions, you can do that, and I'll be explaining some of that stuff also here live. And so that's what we have to do. So basically send those messages back. And because I wanted to talk to you about anger, which every time I get on, I have to kind of talk about that. So that eats up a little bit of our time. And so, let's see how much time we have. Okay, so we have about 4 minutes. So anger. So here's the brain again. And just like we did yesterday, we spoke about disgust, disgust is where the judgment comes in, the loathing, right? So you can be judging somebody, but you may not be loathing the situation. And this comes with granularity. And granularity is literally coloring it in. Just how we color in pictures for pretty colors, or for, I like the blue here, and I like the green here, and I like the yellow, and maybe like a little bit of smudging, right? Just, you see all that? It comes back to that. And so now with this wheel that we've recreated, because we have to really design it with the brain in mind. And the brain doesn't know everything. So our wheel can't tell you everything. Because that's the only way intuitively you're going to connect your life experience to something on the inside that you still don't know what it is. But as we process it, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to have tons of aha moments. And we're going to do all this together. So I really feel, this is going to be a great community, not just for you, but for the person you've never met before, for the person across across 2 states over that is going through a similar experience in you, and but they're learning new things, and we're all transforming, and so eventually we'll be transforming all of this pain in a positive way. We'll be celebrating each other's expression of transformation of depression into the release, so that we can achieve all these things, and we can use our feelings in a positive way. So, when we talk about anger, we have to look at a few different things. One is everything makes us angry, and so that's a big problem, right? And so there are feelings in here. For instance, if you were to feel rejected, would rejected make you feel angry? Answer it in your own head. If you were to be rejected, would that make you feel angry? Let's go to another one. If you were to feel dismayed, would that make you angry? Depends, because if all you know is anger, then maybe that will make you angry, and maybe that one too makes you angry, right? And what if you were feeling awful? Would that make you angry? Well, I mean, sometimes it does, depending on the kind of emotional granularity that you have. And that's the thing. Over the process of the 30 days that I'm going to be giving everybody, the worksheets for 30 days, you're going to start discovering, right, that how you saw things when you started into day 5 and into day, no, 5 is still a little bit early, into day 12 and day 16, you're going to see that your brain is now starting to say, oh no, that's actually not that. It's going to start correcting itself. It's going to say, no, that actually belongs there. So now you're basically helping your brain make accurate predictions. And there's no more important accurate prediction than safety. So this is all about getting back to safety. All of it, right? But because our brain is totally confused and it doesn't know which one belongs where, for instance, sarcasm. When you experience sarcasm, does that make you angry? If you get sarcasm, it probably doesn't. If you don't understand sarcasm, it probably does, right? Isn't that funny? What about unloved? Does unloved make you angry? Right? If the source of your love you have an attachment to, and that attachment goes away, it can make you feel angry. You know, because what any therapist or mental health professional will tell you that's at the highest level, they'll tell you that depression is simply put, but not accurate, but it is simply put, anger expressed inwardly. That is as close as psychology, I don't want to say psychiatry, because psychiatry, they give you medicine, psychology, they give you therapy and things of that nature. But in my experience, because I have received a lot of therapy through the VA, because I am a former Marine with PTSD, I've received tons of it. So I've been able to take my own extractions and in ideas, and now we have this. But as you can see, if depression is anger expressed inwardly, but you've never studied your anger, then how can you even be sure that the things that make you angry ought to be making you angry? But if all you know is anger, then everything will make you feel angry, and this accumulation of anger due to a lack of emotional intelligence will increase your depression. But what if we can detangle this anger over time, which is why I created creative emotional intelligence, because I needed to do this, but there were no tools. There were no tools for me. And but because I have an inquisitive and intuitive mind, because I've shared with you, I'm a music producer. I've been producing music with my feelings for 40,000 hours. I know you can't relate, but what that means that, you know, imagine spending 40,000 hours is actually the equivalent of spending 8 hours a day, every single day for 13 years and 8 months. So what I'm telling you is that if you were to tabulate all the time I've spent in music, it would be Monday through Monday, through Monday through Monday, through Monday through Monday, through Monday through Monday, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for 13 years and 8 months. 8 hours a day. That's how long I've spent in feeling and in creation. And so the interpretations that I manage, if you haven't spent time doing what I've been doing with my feelings, then it's not logical that you would understand me. That's why I know what I know, but I have to bring it to a level where we can all understand. And I think that anger is a very important one, where we can begin now start talking about just seeing how it makes sense. And that's all we want, right? You just want to start shifting, using that neocortex to say, oh, you know what, that's logical. That actually makes sense. Because if the only feelings I know, are anger, chill, sad, joy, right, happy, bored, and anxious. I mean, most of us are, and this is not far from the truth, because when we look at the 6 core feelings, we have joy, which in joy you have like 40 of them, and in anger you have like another 40 of them, and then in surprise you have another 40. These are the cores, right? So joy is completely different than anger. Anger is completely different than surprise. But then now there are branches, right? So these are like trees, So for instance, this is one tree, and then all the context that we're providing, these are the branches. It's another tree, branch. Another tree, branch. We have sadness, right? Which is sad is not, like surprise, and we know that. But what our brain's looking for is, what is this, and 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 why is that? Because I'm feeling all of that. See, the brain is receiving all of that. It receives everything because it's in your body. And when you get hurt, you feel that, and it's just like it feels like 1,000 different things, and you can't even think about what it is, right? I've been there, you know. I know what it's like to be at the worst, and I've overcome it. I've overcome it simply by beginning to help to understand. And no one told me I had to do this. I've spent the last 7 years, since 2013, working on this for myself, creating my own tools for emotional discernment, and I've become an emotional scientist. And as a result of becoming an emotional scientist, due to my course of study, I'm now able to share with you insights that literally most people, not even emotional scientists themselves, because I'm having conversations with some of the best ones, and I'm teaching them things because of the processes that I've undergone, and through those 13 years and 8 months, 8 hours a day in creation, feeling. So intuitively, like Albert Einstein, I'm just connected to brand new ideas. And that is just what it is. And I love to share these ideas with you because it's so important that all of us, like me, if I was going through it and this helped me, like I can't imagine what you're dealing with. I know that I've been alone in complete social isolation for 7 years, and I've had to overcome loneliness alone. Most of you can relate because you felt alone. You might have had family with you, but sure felt alone. You may have had your brothers and sisters, and things are going well, but on the inside you felt alone. And so I'm no different than you. You know, I'm here with you because I love myself so much that I love you as a reflection of how much I've had to learn to love myself. And this is an expression of love. This work that we're doing here at Creative Emotional Intelligence is a pure expression of love. If you can tell by the comments that we're leaving, I literally try to spend time with each individual person, even if it's just a little bit, but I want to recognize you. I want to see your pain. I want to love it. I want to embrace it. I want to show you that there is a new way, and that simply life always has to produce new outcomes. Before there was a point where there were no buildings, and then the first building happened. But before the first building happened, they were like, there's not possible. You can't build a 10-story building. Like, gravity's going to tumble it. And the guy was like, no, watch, wait. Because God is big. I mean, that's it, right? So all things can happen. All problems are resolvable if we have the proper answer. And now we're really all having to learn to become emotional scientists. So you have to become your own emotional scientist. Because now you're going to have to control the change that's coming from the outside. Where's the green? I've been using green for change. So yeah, all the stuff that's coming from the outside about this, that, and certainly da-da-da. Now you're going to be like, bing, 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 this goes there, this goes there, this goes there, this goes there. Just like you keep a clean home, or just like you keep a clean car, or just like you like to, you know, make sure your clothes is clean. You know, even sometimes if it's not that clean, you still want to like fix it up because that's part of feeling safe, feeling organized. We want to make, you know, one comes after two, or two, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1 before 2, 2 before 3, 3 before 4. It's just, we want that, and our brain needs that, right? Our reptilian brain needs that. Because if it's predictable, it's safe. And that's where we were before Corona. Now, in Corona, we're all displaced. Everything has to take a new meaning. And if you've been watching us, where does meaning come from? Meaning comes from feelings, right? But if our feelings are limited to 6, what do you think life means to you right now? And it's not your fault. That's why we're doing this, because of all these little question marks. And you feel them. You feel, for instance, if I tell you, do you feel distant? Okay, maybe you do feel distant right now, right? Distant from the things that you like to do, right? And do you feel frustrated? Possibly, yeah, possibly frustrated with this whole situation. Did you see how frustrated and distant, are they the same feeling? Just stop. Is frustrated and distant the same feeling? If it is to you, what that means is that we need to work on a little bit more emotional granularity. And that looks like actually giving us, because you might just say, you know, it all feels kind of the same. And so little by little, as we start there's so many words in here that as we start doing this process, you're going to find even just one new word. Just one new word that you say, you're like, you know, gosh, I never looked at this, but I'm seeing this word here, and I read the definition of dismay, and you know, let's see, where's dismay here? I read the definition for dismay, and now that we're talking about it, I do feel, I feel dismay, right? And that's to break down the courage of completely as feeling in danger or in trouble. Disheartened thoroughly. Do you feel disheartened thoroughly? Was it a surprise that you had the illusion that life in 2020 was taking its flow, and then now it's like, it's slow? So do you feel dismay? Maybe before I mentioned that, you were like, I don't even know. But now that I mentioned it, do you? Chances are, I think a lot of us are dismayed. And so even just one new word is like, wow, dismay, okay. And that makes us feel great. That recognition, you see? Now the reptilian brain says, oh, dismay? Oh, so this signal, this one here? Oh, wait a minute, but dismay, where does dismay belong? Because if dismay makes me feel sad, then we can start creating very toxic connections with those feelings. If dismay makes me feel angry, because you feel like there's some kind of righteous judgment, like this should not happen to me, maybe, I don't know. But if dismay makes you feel angry, that too can produce a very toxic outcome. So what we need to recognize is that dismay is an act of surprise. And when you realize that dismay is in surprise, and surprise can produce both good and bad outcomes, right? Because good could be amazed, and bad could be confused. And they're both in surprise. This unlocks how we can shift. And this gives us a clue to say, wow, do you mean to tell me that dismay is in surprise and I have a choice? Yes, you have a choice. You have a choice. Even though dismay is probably the thing we're all feeling the most. I think that, right? What is that? I'll read it again. Dismay is very tough. But it's tough depending on how you look at it, right? So dismay is a breakdown of your courage completely, right? As by sudden danger or trouble. Sudden. Corona came out of nowhere. Disheartened thoroughly. All my plans gone. Can't do anything. Can't. Gone. To surprise in such a manner of disillusion. Now you see there's keys here, right? Because disillusion is actually in fear. So there it is. More data for you. So your brain's feeling this. Oh, so this one is, so dismay and disillusion. And all your brain wants to just say, oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Because it just wants to know what is happening according to what it's feeling. That's it. Back in the days, if there was a mammoth and it was chasing you, when did you feel safe? When there was no mammoth. When did you feel a threat? When there was a mammoth. Now, when there's no mammoth and he's at home in the cave with his family, is he thinking about mammoths? No. He's just thinking about his family. He's just being home. But that's pretty much what we had to work with back then. It was just, the threat of a predator. Make sure that but literally, they learn to recognize their instinct, that intuition, that sense perception based on their past predictions. So their brain is a lot like yours. So what have you done in your past? We have just been overwhelmed with all these signals. And it's not like this signal comes with mammoth, right? Mammoth I can see, okay, awesome. No, this signal comes with, my mom is having this issue and this is, and there's a whole story in there. Where does that brain saying, I'm going to process this because I love you. The reptilian brain and your mammalian brain are going to process it, and they're going to process, because they're like, we're going to figure this out, Susie. We're going to figure this out, Johnny. We're going to figure this out, Kimberly. We're going to figure this out, Joanna. We're going to figure this out, guys. The brain is saying, we're going to figure it out, because I'm built for this. I'm built for this. And meanwhile, it's spinning its wheels. It doesn't have words. Remember, question marks. But it's trying. And this is called your body budget, according to Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. So your body budget, when you wake up in the morning and you feel emotionally disposed, right? And then life starts something happens. Okay, I got to make an emotional reaction. What is that? I don't know. Okay, I'm going. Okay, now it's lunchtime. Okay, maybe you need some coffee. I need a little pick-me-up. Okay, eventually it's like 5:30 at night. You're like, you feel exhausted, and you still got to go pick up your kids, and you still got to make dinner, and tomorrow morning it happens all over again. So what that's telling us is that our poor brain is spinning and spinning because it loves you. It loves you. It is you. It is you. It's not your car payment. It's not your mortgage. Your brain is not your mortgage. Your brain is not your car payment. Your brain is not your job. No. Those are signals. Your brain is you. It's constantly taking care of you. You cut yourself, or if you get hurt, or if you have a headache, it's like, okay, Susie, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to repair this headache while I'm trying to heal your cut and your emotional pain. I got it. We got this, right? And then the neocortex brain is saying, okay, I'll do what I got. I'll do the best I can with what I got, and I won't stop working for you. I literally won't stop working for you. That's what it's saying. So just want us to just take a moment to see the opportunity, right? Because this is a good kind of surprise. Now this explanation is like, that's kind of amazing. Because in surprise, you weren't expecting this. Now you've learned this. Now your brain's saying, I have options. There's more things I can do. Like, I'm not stuck where I am. You can give me a hammer and I can break out of this. And with this hammer, I too can construct and build and really help my brain knock off that rust and say, oh, brain, here you go, take this. Brain, here you go, take that. And then the brain saying, oh my God, thank you, yes, thank you. Oh, that's what that is, thank you. And little by little, little by little, this is put in its box. This is put in its box. This is put in its box. This is put in its box, Everything's put in its box. Everything is organized. And everything has a label. Ladies, don't we love labels, right? So here it is, label. Now in your mind, things are organized. And then now when life comes, it's not coming into this chaos, it's coming into control. Oh, this comes, brain, okay, that's part of fear, that's part of anxiety, and then also that's part of dismay. Okay, so I'm supposed to feel dismay, and I'm supposed to also understand, okay, yeah, anger because it hurt, yeah, okay, cool, I get it, I understand. Safe. There's your mammoth. The moment you said safe, the mammoth went away. That's why we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen. So these signals can have their place. A safe place. They're all looking for a safe place. They all just want to belong to where they belong. Everything needs to go in its place, right? Blue shoes with the blue shoes, white shirts with the white shirts. Because when I go to my closet, I want to be like, grab and go. But if I go to my closet and has it happened to you? You didn't do laundry for a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month because you were so depressed and you didn't know what to do with yourself. And you go and you look around, you wake up. The moment you wake up and your eyes and your blinds are closed and everything is a mess, and you're like, I'm going to go back to sleep. Because the moment you wake up, what are all those emotional predictions mean for your brain? It says, I can't deal with it anymore. I literally can't deal with it. So we go back to sleep. And this is a lot of cases. This happens to a lot of us, really. So, yeah, we want to go back to sleep. So I hope this has been helpful. I erased it because, it's kind of like the we want to go back to sleep thing. But also so that you understand that we get to start anew. And with creative emotional intelligence, every signal you will learn to teach yourself how to route that signal properly. Route it properly. Brain feels safe. I feel good. So, I hope that was helpful, guys. Tomorrow, I started a little bit late today. I do realize that, and we ran a little bit late as a result of that, just handling everything. I've had to do my own book, you know, so look, I'll show you. And my own book it helps me. It literally, look at all the days. So I put it together, but I also have to do it, and because literally I had to create the tool that was going to help me. And look at this day. Look at what this day looks like. And this day I was feeling distant, withdrawn, hostile. I was feeling resentful. I was feeling rejected. But I was feeling overwhelmed is what I was feeling. But then my wheel was like, oh, but then you see in the middle how you don't really, it doesn't tell you what it is. And there's a good reason for that, because when you join us and when you become part of this group, I'll start showing you guys why intuitively that was done, so that you can really allow your feelings to make the connection for you rather than your thinking. And we're not even going to go there right now. I think for today, we've covered enough. So I want you to have hope. I want you to know that there's a way. I want you to know that there's so much beautiful tools that you're going to be given, and that I'm not going to let you down, and we're going to continue moving forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, parents, kids, boys and girls, love you guys. And tomorrow, 9:30, 7 days a week, we're doing this every single day. I'm here for you. I love you. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30. Take care, guys.